Hello and welcome to Insights from Autistic. Today's video is titled Obsessions Are an Identity. This video is about recognizing obsessions if in yourself if you have autism, or recognizing obsessions in other people, how to overcome obsessions, and also, is it a good idea to alter a child's identity? In other words, is it okay, or should you try to help a child not have an obsession any longer? So for some of us on the autism spectrum, we have obsessions. These days they're trying to call it special interest. You know, special interest sounds much more nicer, I guess. Whatever, it's an obsession. You're obsessed with it. It takes up all your time, and it's all you think about. You eat, sleep, drink it, whatever. Sometimes it could be Pokemon. You memorize all the Pokemon, their weight, you know everything about them. It could be G.I. Joe, Transformers, Star Wars, Thomas the Train, whatever. You know, so with these obsessions, you know, depending on the obsession, it could cause, you know, financial strain. When I was a very big avid Star Wars collector, and Star Wars was my obsession. I knew everything about Star Wars, and I couldn't get enough Star Wars. I spent all of my paychecks on Star Wars toys, and I just kept buying. I had thousands of items, and all of my money was poured straight into the Star Wars toys. And I talked about Star Wars. I'd be like, I was so enthusiastic about Star Wars because I love Star Wars. I figured everybody else would feel the same passion that I did for Star Wars. It was like, it's Star Wars, come on, you know. But I mean, no. I mean, if any new news would come out, like recently there's the Blu-ray news, I would be like going berserk right now if I was where I was, you know, 5 years ago. You know, or if just for some toys that would come up, like, wow, they made that toy and it's awesome, and I'd be just going crazy and jumping up and down, and I'd be like some hyperactive kid. I know I've been an adult now, but I mean, if you saw me on YouTube talking about the new toys, or you know, when I was the way I was, you know, say in 2007, you'd be like, wow, that guy has some screws loose in his head or something. The way that I obsess and go crazy about the way that I went crazy about Star Wars was insane. So, you know, my brothers, my mom, everybody, you know, they saw Star Wars as Arman, or at least that collection, you know, or what I talked about, you know, there wasn't, you know, but you know, Star Wars, it's outside of me. It's somebody else's creation, but I saw myself as a part of that, you know, and a lot of other people do, you know, see themselves as a part of Star Wars, whatever their obsession is, you know, that becomes their world. And so that was my identity. There was nothing else to Arman. Yeah, I read some books here and there, and I had a couple maybe other kind of smaller interests, but Star Wars was my identity. And, you know, it wasn't like where, you know, yeah, I had autism and stuff like that, but, you know, I wasn't, you know, I didn't care about who I was on the inside. I cared about who I was on the outside in terms of my identity through Star Wars. If that identity went away, you know, if that collection ever went away, you know, I would die. When I sold off my collection, I remember writing, you know, it would take me 5 years to rebuild myself. It actually didn't take that long, but I thought I was killing myself. It felt like a suicide of sorts. And so for us with autism, these obsessions, special interest, hobbies, whatever you want to gently call it, these are who we are. It's simple as that. So, should you help a child overcome this obsession? You know, is it in your best interest to alter their behavior and interest in that? I mean, you can with enough effort and not letting them, you know, get stuff and whatever. And, you know, you can alter that. You know, you can ground them from the internet for the rest of their life so they don't use WoW, whatever it is that they're addicted to. And WoW as in World of Warcraft. And thank goodness I never tried that. Bad idea. Well, having overcome my obsessions, I can say that it's been a good thing in many ways, and that I have freed up a lot of mental space and space in general, and both literally and figuratively. And so I feel more free. I was kind of in prison a bit, but I was in a prison that I wanted to be in. Now I'm in a larger prison, but there you go. But it has really helped me move forward socially. After I sold off my collection not that long ago, not that long after I sold off my collection, I had my first girlfriend, and I fell in love and everything like that. And I don't think that would have been possible if I was still obsessing about stars and spending every penny I had on getting the newest, latest things. It has led to me making these YouTube series, I believe. I don't know if I'd be making YouTube videos if I didn't do that. And it has led to me creating my blog, and it has helped me out in a lot of ways. But with that said, in some ways I feel even more lost now. Like I've never felt like I've really belonged to other people. I can be at wherever, and I won't feel like I'm a part of that. Autism, as I was saying, with autism, with a group of people with autism, everybody's different. There's there's different interests. I've never been able, I have my own interests, whatever, and I feel more like an individual. I feel more like I've discovered who I am. But at the same part, by becoming more of an individual, even more so than ever before, without that obsession, I no longer have something to really connect with people. Especially Star Wars collectors or whatever. I felt kind of a connection to them because they had the same interest and passion that I did. Now, it is harder, actually, I think, without that thing to form connections with people. But in some ways it's actually easier because now I feel more free and easygoing, and I feel like I can talk to more people, interact with more people, and interact more successfully with people, and understand people more successfully. But I don't feel nothing very deep, and to me the collecting was a deep connection, but it's a common interest, and and with that said, though, it's not necessarily, we like to identify ourselves by the things on the inside. So in a way, I'm glad that I'm not identified by something on the outside, and I'm looking more on the inside and trying to show what's on the inside more and not what's on the outside, if that makes sense to you. And so what I'm getting at here is that, yeah, you can try to help your child overcome that, but they might not have the tools to relate to their peers. I think a lot of really obsessive Star Wars collectors huge collections like me were probably also on the autism spectrum. And a lot of these obsessions allow them to relate to other people with autism or whatever, with their peers and all that. So, it might help their social skills, it might help them talk to more people, interact with more people on a wider scale, by helping them overcome an obsession. But at the same time, they might lose the deeper connections, with people. And with that said, overcoming obsessions. So let's say you want to overcome an obsession, special interest, whatever hobby. Obsessions are an addiction, like cigarettes or drugs or whatever. It was, there were times where I thought about quitting because other people were like, "Oh, you shouldn't do it, whatever. You're way too obsessive, Arman." And it was the love of my life. I couldn't get enough of it. I loved it. It's like so addicting. Just the awesomeness of the action figures. All of that stuff. It's an incredible addiction. And first you have to recognize that you are obsessed, and you have to recognize it as an obsession. You have to recognize that there's more to life than what's there. To me, I'm like, how could there be more to life than this? I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Why in the universe do I want to do something else? Are you insane? This is my life. This is the greatest thing ever, you know. So maybe, you know, that could be a reaction to you if you have autism, you know. It's like, how, why, you know. No, this is me, you know. But I mean, you know, maybe you want to get a girlfriend. Maybe you want to get married someday. You know, curbtailing or completely overcoming an obsession can help you with that. Help you find a love interest. Maybe you want friends. You know, having a more widespread interest, you know, where you just have, you know, a little bit of pieces here and there about things, you know, I think is more relatable than someone who has one super specialized interest and knows nothing else. You know, I think most people, you know, they take tidbits here and there of everything, and that's how they get along with each other. Whereas with us with autism, you know, we don't care about the rest. We only care about this one little thing, and that's it. And that makes us able to relate to a subset of maybe 5 people, but that doesn't allow us to talk to a wider range of people. So I mean, you have to recognize the obsession, and sometimes, you know, you just need to throw away everything, sell it on eBay, come up with an excuse, say, okay, I'm going to use this money to get a makeover, find a girlfriend, whatever. Or I'm gonna go buy my mom a car, or whatever. I'm gonna get myself a car. I don't have a car yet. I can't drive, but whatever. I'm gonna use this to get my car. I'm gonna sell off my things. Or maybe you have to delete your WoW account, sell it off. Stop going to the websites. Get a new internet browser that doesn't recognize your visiting habits, or just, you know, erase your, however you do it. You know, erase the cache of everything. You know, start fresh. You know, try to find people to help you. Of course, that can be hard because there was nobody to help me. You know, they talk to me, but, you know, this is, sometimes it's, I think overcoming obsession is really a personal thing that you have to do yourself. And when I sold off my collection, and I did it to try to impress a girl, I wanted to buy her something very impressive. But after I sold my collection, I still went to the toy aisles, and I still visited the Star Wars websites for a very long period of time. You know, it took me a very long time to really overcome that, and at first I really wanted to buy the new toys. I was still very excited about them. Now when I see the toys, I get a little bit excited, but it's not the same as it was before. So anyway, this is my video on obsessions are an identity. Hopefully you have found it helpful. I thank you for watching. I wish everybody an awesome day of awesomeness. Thank you.